And we have Vatsal sir with us, who is also an executive dean, associate dean, and executive affairs for the Design Village. Apart from all this, he himself is a fashion management student. Done his graduation from Thomas Academy, Milan. So accordingly, we would love to cater your queries and everything, and we'll just request sir to start with the session and let you know and help you know how to make you guys crack in the interview. So over to you, sir.
Priyanka, thank you so much for the introduction. And a very good evening to all of you. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you so much for having me here amongst yourselves. In the next few minutes of conversation, what I'm going to do is start something very basic to understand what does an interview mean? Why is it essential? Why should we have that as part of evaluation of any design school? And after a few inputs on that and few questions from all of you, I will also give you a peek into what we have done in terms of the entrance examination this year, so that you understand how we are using the technology of today and using it for your favor to ensure that you understand what is expected of you to give an entrance exam of a design school. Yeah. So let me ask you all a very simple question. Okay. And please feel free to interact with me, because the more we discuss, the better we become. Now, tell me, what is the need of an interview in a design school entrance examination? Why should you even do that? Like, I can just simply ask you to write a paper and evaluate you. Why do I need to see you, to meet you, to ask you for a few questions about your life? It's a design school interview. It's not a job interview, right? So why should I do that? Any thoughts on that? Yes. Who would that be? Ananya, right?
Sir, could we
Yes,
say,
please tell me.
because there are a lot of students who aren't
Right.
generally able to perform that great academically or in paper, but when you're going and talking to them on a more personal level, you understand them better, and then that adds a bit of, let's say, personalization to your judgment of the child, and to see their true potential, because the way they talk, the way they behave, their whole body posture, body movements, all of that tells you more about the child than just their grades.
Absolutely, Ananya. Thank you so much for mentioning that. So you mentioned a very important word called body language. Okay. And I will talk very briefly about it just for your understanding, everybody. And please feel free to add in. Now, what is body language? Why will I even evaluate you on that? It is extremely crucial for me to understand how serious are you about an examination. You might come up with very well rehearsed answers, but sometimes I can sense something which is very complacent. I can sense something which is uncomfortable. Sometimes I can get a feeling from you that you do not want to be there for this interview, but you're doing it only because you want to practice for another school. And that is a very big red flag. If you've gone for any interview for any school, it is important that you realize that you have to justify why you are taking some time off the interviewer. That is the most important part. The interviewer at no point should feel that you are not interested. Hi, are you saying something? Moshmi, are you asking something?
No, sir, it was just a mistake.
No problem, not a problem at all. Before I get into the details of design examinations, I want you all to understand that every design school has their own way of selecting students, and personal interviews are the most important way to understand, like Ananya mentioned, that whether you fit into that school's pedagogy or not. More so over, are you even interested in applying to that school? Sometimes it happens that you want to test waters. You want to apply to all the design schools possible because you are testing, you're giving mocks, you want to experiment, you want to be very wide in your selection, you want to have safe back options. But that should not come across when you are giving an interview. If I'm an interviewer, I've interviewed more than 5,000 students. To give you an example of statistics, I can understand when somebody has been made to sit in the interview against their wish. It comes across very transparently on your face. So that is very important. Second part, would anybody like to try? The first part was body language. Anybody else has an additional session? I think Upasana was trying to say something,
Yes,
if
sir.
I'm not wrong. Please
Yes,
tell
sir.
me.
Good evening, sir. Uh,
Good evening,
so,
Upasana.
so I believe that design is a part is a representation of what we think about certain things and what are our opinions about things. And in order to know us better, I think interviews help. Uh, they help to know the personality of the child and what they bring out in the design and their work, what their work represents.
Absolutely. What is very important that you said was, even if you have not shared, say, a portfolio for your interview, but if you own your work, and there are some works which I have seen from your entrance exam, the physical exam that you've done, I will be able to draw parallel. I will be able to ask you something from that question and cross check whether you were the one who did it or not. Because these are online examinations and one might not trust the way that you've done the examination. So it's important that you know what you've done in your paper, but also you know you have a style in working. For example, if you have to draw a cat, now all of you can draw a cat in various different ways, but your own unique style is your style. And if, say, for example, uh, Upasana, sorry, has somebody uploaded the whiteboard experience? Who is high? Somebody has switched on their whiteboard option. Thank you. So please understand that as design practitioners, we are aware that each of your work will have a signature style, whether you realize it or not. So through your exam paper, I will identify whether it is your sketch style and your work style. So when I cross question you about something and you have developed that, you will be able to justify as to why you did that work and what is your plethora of work that you've done. If some of you share your portfolios, we will also be able to understand whether your portfolio matches the drawing style of your exam paper. So please be careful. My thumb rule to you all is, in your portfolio, do not submit quantity. There needs to be quality. There, you can put 10 best projects, but those projects have to be yours. That style has to be yours. The understanding has to be yours. Now, the third part, which I would like to mention, Upasana, thank you for contributing. Did I justify what you sort of asked for, or can I add something more?
No, sir, I completely agree with you, whatever you said.
Okay. Thank you, Upasana. Would anybody else like to give a try before I get onto the third thumb rule? Anything, any inhibitions,
I
anything
like
that
to
scares
add
you?
some few
Yeah.
points.
Yes, Adya, tell me.
So I believe that when we go for an interview, both the interviewer and
Mhm.
the interviewee, the one who is taking the interview should be interested in some of the content which the interviewer is asking. Suppose we have given some entrance exam and that was, we know that few questions it is there and we have to pass those questions academically. We have learned about those, but when we go for an interview, the interviewer asks us some questions which also help us to increase our reasoning ability to answer those questions, to handle the problems which we face in front of them. So it also helps the interviewer to judge us how the person would be if he or she will if he or she have to do some task. That's it.
So, Adya, thank you for that input. But I would like to tell you something very honestly. As an interviewer, I am not trying to put you into a pressure problem and trying to test how good or bad you are in solving a pressure problem. This space for interview is for me to get to know you better, whether you are a candidate that will marry the philosophy of my school or not. Because I can give you pressure problems, I've given you enough problems in the question paper to solve. For me, this is the window to get to know of your interest, your friends, your family, your close people, so that I can understand how seriously do you and your family members want to support your stand of doing design education. So that is very important for us to know. Yeah. So to expand on what Adya just mentioned, the third point is your relevance of family and friends in the interview. Now, you might not have them around, or some of them might be sharing the common space with you because thanks to the pandemic, most of us have now started adapting to various hybrid means of giving interviews or online sessions. Okay. So I do understand that you might sometimes be sharing the space of interview with your sibling or your friend or your parent, and that's completely okay because it is important for us to understand how comfortable are you with your peers, with your closed ones, your relatives, and your parents. Whether this decision of being a designer is supported by people who are close to you, or is it a journey which you're fighting alone for? We need to have these elements for us to know how good or strong your approach or your decision is. So do not take this point lightly. And that's something which you should always work on. Yeah. Is there any other point which comes to your mind? Let me tell you the fourth point, which is extremely crucial when you are giving the interview. Now, if I ask some of you a question, who is the most popular designer, or which is the designer that inspires you? Okay. And in the past, it has happened that even if somebody who is not giving fashion design as an option, they say, my favorite designer is Sabyasachi. Now, if you fill the form for a product designer and you're saying, my favorite designer is Sabyasachi, how do I draw the parallel? I mean, I'm not saying that somebody who loves a Sabyasachi design cannot be a product designer. That is not the intent. But it is a prejudice which is considered that if I ask you who is a favorite designer, some of you by default go to fashion or textile designers and the popular designers. Now we have to be very careful there. In an interview, it is a red flag because I am like, you have not researched enough about the field you want to be. You have to give me an example of a graphic designer if you come from that field. Now, I'm not saying that a textile designer cannot inspire you to be a graphic designer. Then in that case, you have to have a justification that Sabyasachi as a personality has these values. And that is why I, as a future graphic designer, find value into what they are doing. If somebody says that Masaba Gupta is my inspiration and they want to be product designers, we can talk about the resilience of Masaba Gupta and not the fashion collection. Sometimes, we are told that this is a particular collection which a certain designer worked upon, and this is what I like. But if I have a cross question to that collection, because I know each of those collections really well, and you're unable to answer because you only rehearsed a certain part of it, which was given to you, and you did not bother to know the whole story. So that is where you all get fixed and caught. Did that help people? Like, did you understand the premise or the context? Yes, Ananya? Ananya, am I audible to you?
Yes,
Yeah.
am I audible?
Yes, you are audible now. Thank you.
So the main issue is that like I've been into design for quite a while, but my problem
Mhm.
is that because of my studies, it has always been clashing with my passion and interests. I've never really gotten the
Mhm.
opportunity to venture out to see more options or like explore who all are in this field. So if they ask me this type of question, what do I respond with? Do I say, like, will they accept an answer like I've never really gotten the opportunity to go around and
So, Ananya, I'll be very frank with you, okay?
explore
As an
this?
interviewer, I understand the journey that you're all going through. As a class 12 student, I'm assuming that most of your undergraduate students here, if some of your master students, I can speak
Like,
to you all as well.
checking out how who all are present.
I'm giving a scenario of a class 12 student. I understand that you all would be busy in your board examinations, your preliminary examinations. So, as an interviewer, we are aware of those things very, very carefully. Yeah. So, if you are unable to give me an answer of a popular designer, and rather say that I am trying to get into this field because I believe that I'll be able to make a difference. And these are people in my life who have given me an example. I will be happy to hear that answer. You could also talk about an author. You can talk about uh, an artist whose work you look closely. You can talk about somebody in literary works. You can talk about somebody whose art you like in terms of music, drama, theater. So, when I talk about a designer, it is not something which I'm restricting to because I understand the exposure that you all have. Or you can even talk about an experience when you travel, say, one of you went to a Dastakar um, Mela, which happens in Delhi, I think every alternate week, where a lot of artisans come. One can talk about Delhi Heart and some artisan whom you met there, and they had a huge effect on you. One of you can talk about a photographer whom you all must have met while on a trip somewhere. So I am saying that if you don't have an answer which is extremely embedded in what I'm looking for, give me the genuine answer, because genuine answers will always have a higher stake over a rehearsed answer which does not fit you. The moment you try to enact somebody who you're not, an interviewer will always get to know. And that is where they will reduce your marks. Yeah. Yes, Palak?
So if you are not specifying some designer or a person, can we talk about any television show or the program which was our inspiration?
See, Palak, again, I cannot talk only for myself because as an interviewer, I will give a lot of room to people to speak. But there can be an interviewer who is like, yeah, I have 2 minutes to listen to you. And I'm asking you a question, which is the designer that inspires you? In that, if you tell them that you're talking about something else or a television series that you sort of liked, they might lose the plot. So you have to be careful. You have to be very aware of the time that the interviewer is giving you. You also have to see what are the questions that they have asked before that, so that you know that you are leading to an answer. Always never. So whatever I'm telling you all today, it is not written in gold. Okay. And you have to also be aware of what your interviewer is expecting you at that time. You also have to see whether this question was one of the first questions or one of the last questions. The attention span of even an interviewer varies. If you are trying to engage with them better, they will have a better understanding of what you're trying to say. If you give them abrupt answers, they might lose interest and might just finish off the interview in a very quick, spontaneous manner. So we have to gauge the pace, the body language of the interviewer as well. If I am gauging your body language, you need to also gauge my body language. Yeah. Does that help? Adya, would you like to ask your question?
So I just wanted to ask a question related to the exam. That when we give the exam, some questions we face like to draw, like for something related to drawing. Many of us here may be good at drawing when we have to see from somewhere. We just draw from a reference. But when we have given a question to draw it from our own creativity, we sometimes fall. So how can we improve that problem?
So, Adya, I would have addressed this question in a better manner when I would have taken you through the slides I've prepared for all of you. But because you've asked this question, I will address it to all of you because I think it's a very genuine problem that all of you face. Can all of you tell me who all face this problem? You can just raise hands in your Zoom chats. Okay, good. Thank you for being honest, people. And I know that this is a very big cause of concern that most of you have because, sometimes we are in class 12th, we are preparing for our board exams. Some of us have science, some of us have math, some of us have accounts or economics. We are not choosing design field or design related objects. We do not have art as a subject. We do not have fine arts as a subject. Some of us must have never done theater in our life. Some of us must have never done elocutions and debates in our life. But that is okay. When I'm giving you an entrance exam, I know that if I'm giving you a question to draw, you need to represent what you know the best. I don't want you to copy something from somewhere because I am very sure that you know that I can click a picture, ask my Google Lens to search where this picture was taken from. So I am not only gauging your drawing skill, I'm also gauging your creativity. I'm gauging whether this person knows how a nail looks. If you can even draw a nail with straight lines, so be it. At least you're not copying from somewhere. Copying, unless mentioned, that take references, please do not lift up things from the internet, because that can make sure that you are disqualified for that question. And a drawing question is never of less marks. It will always have a 20 to 30% weightage in the overall questionnaire. So do not ever try to draw something which you have copied from anywhere unless it says, please feel free to take references and put the links of reference. Okay. I will say that you all should try making quick sketches. Do scribbles which are very solid. So these times when you have, even if you cannot make full sketches which are of depth, perspective, showing various angles, you should do scribbles. You should do suggestive lines. Use a lot of straight lines, curved lines to depict what is the question that is addressed. Like, for example, if you're being asked to draw humans, please draw your vanishing lines first and make humans on those vanishing line scales, and then rub the vanishing lines off. So that at least your perspective, your angle is fine, even if you cannot draw. A quick circle for a head and two small ovals for the body and straight lines for the hands and legs can at least give them understanding that you understand proportion, human anatomy properly, right? And then you can draw things in perspective. Making a diagonal line and making a straight skyline and making your human interventions always helps. At least it shows that you are serious about what you are attempting. But if you make a beautiful human figure holding a vase, when I'm asking you, how do you work on climate reaction? If you're drawing that to show that we are preserving water and you've copied that image from, say, UNESCO's site, I'm not going to give you any grades. Do we understand the difference? Is it clear, people? Or I can even help you another example if you want. Anybody?
Yes, sir. Can you please explain again?
Sorry, Palak.
So can you please explain again? I was disconnected due to some network issue.
Palak, all I'm saying is instead of drawing a very good drawing which has been copied from somewhere, make illustrations or quick scribbles or basic shapes which can indicate what your thought process is like if you cannot really draw. But avoid copying from somewhere and drawing, because it reduces your chance to get good marks. If you're able to draw quick shapes, basic shapes as human figurines and show depth, show perspective, and at least communicate the idea of what the question is asking, you will get the marks. Yeah. And also please understand the materiality of question. If somebody is saying, please use a 2B or an HB or a 4B pencil, do not use a pen. That is another red flag. And that question can be asked in the question in the interview from you, that if they have mentioned that this is the black pen, this is the black pencil you have to use of two codes, why did you use a black marker? Then what would your answer be? So be very careful in attempting the questions, because please assume that your interviewers would have some idea about your written answers. The person who's checking your written copies and the person who's interviewing might not be the same people, but they can also be the same people. So please be very careful in what you attempt, because you can be cross-questioned. Again, if due to internet connections, this is the fifth point you all should note for the interview. It has happened in the past, that is why I'm telling you. Two very close friends, like say, for example, imagine two of you who are very close and are giving exam from the same place because one of your internet connection was down. Very basic, right? Now, two of you have discussed the answer and you've answered in your own manner, but knowing that you both might have been there together because your registration numbers were closer or something, or we were able to figure out a pattern, your answers look identical. And when I interview both, you might say something which is an overlap between your two answers. And I'll be able to gauge that you have discussed and written the answer. And that shows that unless and until you acknowledge that my friend and I had these two approaches and we've taken it into two different forms, and you are able to defend that in the interview, your marks will be cut. So we have to be careful of that aspect as well, people. I'm happy that you all can discuss your, thanks to the online examinations, you all can do all of that. But please understand, copying and plagiarism is not allowed. Do we understand the word plagiarism? Is that something which we understand, or should I explain to you? Does anybody not understand the word plagiarism? Please tell me.
No, sir.
So can you
Okay, so
explain?
I will explain to you. Absolutely. So thank you for asking. When we are trying to see, it is the world of chat GPT and Photoshop beta, and everything can be made fictionally, right? But sometimes when we're taking a photograph and using it for reference, when I'm picking up, say, a paragraph from somebody's speech and putting it, I need to give credits. In an answer, if I'm picking up two lines from, say, Mahatma Gandhi's speech, I need to write that speech belonged to Mahatma Gandhi in that year, so and so. In Jawaharlal Nehru's letters to his daughter, if I'm picking up something from there, I need to acknowledge. If I've taken few lines from Harry Potter, say Order of the Phoenix, I need to mention Order of the Phoenix page number this and that context. If I've quoted a song by, say, Rihanna, I need to say that's a song by Rihanna issued in the year this and this. It is the way of acknowledging people whose references I'm using in my answers and artworks. Do we understand that? So, it is not your work. Plagiarism means if you're not giving credit to somebody by acknowledging, regram process in Instagram. When you're regramming, you're giving credit to somebody whose post it originally is, right? Sometimes what you can do is just take a screenshot and put it as your own story. That is plagiarism because it was not your story. It was not the content you created. We took somebody's content, took a screenshot and put it as ours. That is plagiarism. Yeah, that is very important. And as an interviewer, let me tell you that even if I am not as technologically advanced as all of you, the basic principle of plagiarism remains the same. And I can figure out my tools to cross question and cross check. So be very aware. Yeah. Now, the sixth part, which is very tricky for you all to understand. Everybody talks about sustainability, social design, social responsibility, design thinking. Do we understand these terms? Do we understand what it is? Even a brand like Zara or a brand like H&M can say that they are sustainable. But are they truly sustainable? Do we believe they are sustainable? What are they doing in the world that makes them sustainable? And what is sustainable? Is it only to do with garments? Is it only to do with clothing industry? If as a product designer, I ask you, what is sustainability to you in tube lights? What would your answer be? So one cannot just give an answer of sustainability that we are trying to save energy. That is one form of sustainability. There are multiple ways to sustain. The word sustainability and sustenance are two words which are different meaning words, and you should understand the meaning. And we should write the words exactly as they sound. Sustaining a thought, sustaining the temptation to buy something new is also a form of sustainability. Do we understand? Only wearing reusable garments or doing recycling garments is not sustainability alone. Me spending 100 rupees a month when my pocket money is, say, 2000 rupees is sustainability because I'm taking care of my resources. No, don't confuse me into saying that I'm talking about saving here. I'm talking about saving resources eventually, not consuming more than what we are supposed to consume. So we have to understand these aspects as the young designers of tomorrow. The last part which I want to talk to you all about, and please, I would like at least 4 to 5 answers in this. My question to you all is, what do you want to be 5 years from now? Now, give me some examples, and I will tell you whether they fit well or not. After this, I'll show you some fun activities which I'm doing this year for the entrance exams. But I would like these 5 answers from you all to know what you all have an answer for. Yes, Ananya.
So for this answer, I would say that 5 years from now, I can visualize myself in a field or designing products that, change sort of the outlook on life. Because you have products, you have designs that sort of, they're very different from what you have presently. So like I can see myself doing something well and beyond what is expected.
Thank you, Ananya. And thank you for that answer, because let me tell you that as a class 12 student, your answer might be considered to be average, but I would like you to consider how to make it better, Ananya. Okay. So, how about you start by saying that I understand that the world does not always need new products? Because, Ananya, all of us want to be different. We all want to make a statement. We all want to make products which are never made before. We all want to stand out. That is what is ingrained in us, that if you have to be a designer, you have to stand out in the world. But that is not the reality of tomorrow. We need to take responsibility for the actions of our predecessors. There has been such an excess of the products that have been created in the world, that if you, as a designer for tomorrow, are telling me that I will make products which are completely different from the world and are not ever seen, because I believe that I can make a difference as a designer, think more. Maybe the answer could be, I really think that there is no need for new products in the world. What I can do is make the existing products more optimized, more efficient in the way they work. Maybe I can make them more long lasting. As a designer, I never think about these attributes. Why can I not give a larger shelf life to the existing products? It is something to think about. I would require an answer which is slightly different. I love the enthusiasm, and I'm not trying to ditch the answer that you've given, Ananya. But how do you make it to the next level? How do you act responsibly? Because you surely are responsible. But how do you actually feel the responsibility in your answer? Yes, what's your answer?
So, I was thinking, is it fine if we, like, what I wanted to say was that, I can visualize myself 5 years in the future doing what I love, designing products irrespective of what type they are, like basically living your passion, earning through your passion.
So, absolutely. And that is your answer. Don't talk about products that you will make you can talk about products, but the other parts of your answer are far better. That I want to earn through my passion. That's a beautiful answer. That is the exact inspiration I'm talking about. You want to earn money through the passion that you have, and you want to foster it for next 5 years and make it sure that it is the best thing that you ever do to yourself. And that is the answer I'm looking for as an interviewer. And not that, please I will make responsible new products. No, everybody gives me those answers. I have 3,000 people telling me the same thing. Why should you be the different one? Why should I choose you over those 500 other applicants, for instance? So I've never heard this answer. I want to earn through my passion. And yeah, I will always remember that answer. Thanks, Ananya. So see, people, when we talk, we come up with solutions. So it's good to discuss, good to talk, bring in solutions on the table. Yeah. Thanks, Ananya. Who's next? Another Ananya. Yes, Ananya.
Sir, 5 years from now, I would imagine myself to be an animator or to be something in the storytelling industry. And it is
Okay.
because
And why?
of the reason that, when we are learning these design principles and color psychology and stuff like that, they say that there are like hard and fast rules, but sometimes these rules can be broken. So I just want to show the world that creativity is not limited to these rules, and we can even do the opposite of these rules and yield better results than already given.
So, Ananya, as a designer, I would love that answer, okay? Because I love people who want to break through of the rules created by schools or design fraternity, right? But as an educator, I might ask you, what is the need for you to be in design education then? Why should you even study? So, what would your answer be to that?
Sir, I would say that yes, at that so when we are, a part of the society, So the first thing that comes to our minds, that thing is what resonates within the minds of 90% of the people. So we do need to learn to, communicate with people. But at at the end of the day, creativity is not just communicating with people. It is, you can say, a type of communication that we show our ideas and stuff like that.
So now let me rephrase what you've said, because tell me if I've got your gist, okay? I will like to say that I would love to be an animator who tells the true stories. I want to reach out to the stories which are unheard, which have never been said before. But for telling these stories, I would like to first go through the journey of learning design for the next 4 years, and then be a disruptor in my own way, figure out my own pathways to understand how can I move away from those conformed rules and make my own language of creating stories for tomorrow. And that is an answer if you as an animator give, they'll be like, oh, please come tomorrow, take an admission. I'm just saying that there's a lot of fruit in what you've said, just that your pudding needs to taste sweet for a longer time, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Ananya, does that help?
Yes, sir.
Do others also agree? See, you all can, answer and we can sort of contemplate as well. And I am Vatsal. You all can even address me by my first name, Vatsal. You do not have to call me sir necessarily. It should be a matter of choice that you all can have. And as an interviewer, always ask whether you should address them as sir, ma'am, or just their first name. Okay. It shows that you are making them feel inclusive. Similarly, I cannot assume. Anunya, may I request you to put yourself on mute? Thank you. It is very important. See, we are moving into a society because we, as Upasana, I'll just come back to you in a minute. Um, as a design fraternity practitioner, it is my responsibility that all of us feel included. So one small gesture is about asking, may I address you as ma'am or sir, or should I address you as your first name? Now, somebody like me, I would love it because if you call me by my name, because it shows me that you are respecting me beyond giving me the title of hierarchy. You can still call me sir, but not respect me, answer me back, and give me a very cold answer in the interview. Then it is better that you call me Vatsal, but give the answers directly. Do you see where I'm coming from? There's a very thin line between disrespect and calling somebody by a higher title just because we've been told to do this over the years. So understand this very importantly. Similarly, as an interviewer, I need to address how you should be addressed. Otherwise, I'm not being inclusive. Anunya, you do not realize that you are putting yourself. Yeah, thank you. Upasana, yes, do you have something to this?
No, sir, I wanted to answer to the question.
Please answer, please answer.
My inspiration to come into this field was Harry Potter because I am a
Lovely,
Potterhead
okay.
and Slytherin is
Mhm.
my house, although I love Gryffindor.
Very
But
nice. Yeah.
yes, sir. When I read the books and when I watched all the movies, it gave me an insight into a completely magical world, which I thought as a
Mhm.
graphic designer or a communication designer, I can do as well. There are millions of stories
Mhm.
that go into my mind every day, and I think I can put
Mhm.
I can humanize those stories. I can give life to those stories through my skills, which I learn, and through the guidance, obviously. Yes, so that's my answer.
Very well articulated, Upasana, I must say. And it's always important to give references. And see, when you said Harry Potter, some interviewers might be like, oh, that is something which everybody says. So what is so different about you? But the fact that you were able to first say Slytherin, which is of course not very obvious, not a lot of people say that because of the biases that exist. Secondly, understanding how you use that prowess to your advantage and use that to favor the answer that you want to say in terms of creating a legacy for yourself in the future, it might work. But I would still want you to talk about how your dream will come true later. How would you be that amazing graphic designer who will make these 100 stories like Harry Potter come true? You understand me? Give an example that what will you do in these 5 years that will make this journey of yours very easy. So that passion has to come in that part. Do we understand?
Right, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Sorry,
Uh,
who's this?
Upasna, sir.
Yes, Upasana. Yeah.
So, what could I add into my answer?
I would like to know that what part of liking Slytherin or Harry Potter is something which works in your favor to translate your 5 year journey. And why do you want to do a design course that will amp it up? Like my main reason to ask this question from all of you is, why should I give you admission to my school? My seats are limited. Why should I let you all come to my school? Because just because you want to do design? What will you do after studying design? As the design village, I ask each one of you to write manifesto before you all come. So when we do pre-orientation sessions with some of you who will get through the examination, we will ask you to write a manifesto, which is your start to the journey at the design village. And that changes in the next 4 years of you being here. And that is exactly why I tell you all to think about your 5 year journey. So in the interview, I just give a small glimpse of it. To not even, so it is not about judging whether you've thought about your life ahead, but it is about how seriously do you think about being a design student? Is that something which you are doing because you love it? Or is it something because you're like, oh no, science is too difficult. I don't want to be a doctor. Oh no, accounting is so boring. I will never be a CA. But I wanted to be a commercial pilot, but I don't think my parents want me to be a commercial pilot. So let me be a designer because it's the most easy thing to do. That is not the way to look at design. And that will come across if you are unable to justify this in your answer. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Vasna. Moez, is that you?
Yes, sir. So
Yes, tell
my
me.
answer to the where I see myself in 5 years would be that I see myself still studying and gaining more and more experience, because I don't think the design field can be covered in a 3 year course or 4 year course, while simultaneously building my own platform and doing my own thing.
Very nice, Moez, because I would second that answer. I will just make it slightly more relatable. Like I will say that as a designer, I'm a lifelong learner. Every experience that comes my way teaches me something to grow an inhibition or an attribute in self. And I do not want to give up the new ideas or ideologies of learning. And with every passing year and time that elapses, I will gain new skill sets. I will learn new people's skills. And those are the things which are going to make me a better human with every passing time. And that is extremely crucial for me to have my own entrepreneurship or my entrepreneurial venture. And that is an answer which is perfectly fitting well in the journey of being a designer. Yeah. So thank you for that answer. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, so I think you summed it up perfectly.
Very good answer. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, very important. And others should also remember this. It is important that you all don't say that at the end, don't treat the end of the 4 year journey of your undergrad or a 2 year journey of your master as the end of your education. We never know what opportunities might come. We might get funding to do a small residency. We might get funding to do a master or a PhD. So you should always be open to learning in different various forms. Yeah. Are there?
So I would like to see myself in the upcoming 5 years to be a great interior designer. I know that I won't be a great interior designer in these 5 years, but I believe that I will learn a lot from the university, whichever I choose, just to fill my audacity to judge someone's house that it should not be like this and these things should be here so that it will look better. So just to fulfill that audacity and to make myself satisfied that yes, I can design someone's house in a very better manner that it was designed earlier. So that's it. And by hearing everyone's answer, I would also like to add that we all know we can't study or we can't be satisfied by our knowledge in any year we study, like it's eternal. How much we study, we will get to learn more and more. So that's what it is.
So Adya, thank you for your answer, and thank you that you have got a lot of confidence in your voice, and that comes across, and that's a very positive sign for an interviewer. Okay, so they will give you a chance to hear you more. But there are some red flags in your answer which I should tell you. I would make something great, I would make something better. It can come across as a negative answer because that means you're saying that until now nobody is doing good job enough in interior design, and when I learn design in 5 years of time, I'm going to make things better. I'm going to make a house which can look better. That is not enough. And interior
I would
design is
like
not
to
about
add
house
something
decoration.
to. I would like to add something
Okay,
in contradictory. I mean to say that if to satisfy myself, I'm not saying that I will be the best or I
I
will do
agree.
better. I will do
No,
better from the professionals.
Adya, I've understood. I have understood what you're saying as an interview, I know, but I'm telling you, what could somebody also think? So, because we are in a sharing session, I understand where you're coming from. That's why I said that your answer has a right thing. You just have to sharpen it a bit. Yeah. And one more thing, whenever an interviewer is giving a suggestion, don't cut them. Let them complete and then defend. Sometimes, we have this urge of defending ourselves right when somebody's answered something. But that is something which might offend somebody. They'll be like, you're not interested in hearing me. I will just keep the call down. And that's that. So that should not happen. So be very, very, very careful in that. Yeah. Let the other person complete. You will always get chance to reply. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Adya. Tisha, you want to ask?
Yeah,
Tisha, are you there?
sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just I would
Please.
I would love to answer the question that you're asking. So thank you for the question, firstly. Secondly, so I would like to see myself in the upcoming 5 years to be very focused and to be well known of the field that I've chosen, and not to stutter or not to be confused of what I'm doing right now. To be very precise of what I'm doing and not to be confused. Right, right now I'm very confused. What I have to do. I mean, what will I be doing? But in the upcoming 5 years, I want myself to be confident enough that I want to choose this path. I want to do this, and not being like, no, I don't know what am I supposed to do, or something very like very confused of what I have to do. If I've chosen this path, then I have to do this. Something really very passionate about. I want to see myself as that, as well as I want to gain more and more experience. Yes, sir.
So, Tisha, thank you for your answer. It's a very right answer, but I will just tell you how to be careful of certain things. Whenever all of you are giving answers, please don't give them those answers as the way you're having a conversation with somebody sitting across you. So avoid using a lot of likes. So therefore, because be careful of the conversations being meaningful. You can even ask your interviewer, can I take 10 to 15 seconds to write down my essential pointers so that I can frame the answer better? So always ask for that time to frame your answers. Because when we start answering by listening to the questions immediately, we have not framed the thoughts properly in our heads. And that makes us slightly, stammer or stutter or say things in a casual manner, the way we talk to our friends, our family members. And that does not always sit very well with the interviewers. Your answer is perfectly fine, and I credit you for that. Like, I believe that to acknowledge the fact that you do not know everything today and you are nervous about it, and over the years, you will get the knowledge to be able to become somebody in your life which can be driven by passion. That is the perfect answer. But if you think about it and write again what you've told me, you will be able to do justice to what you've said. Yeah. So it's a very good answer, just that it needs to be very firmly made. Correct. And also, people, it is not only for the people who are asking questions, it is for everybody. So the feedback is for everybody to learn from, right? We can get various examples from each other. So thank you so
Excuse
much
me,
for
sir.
your answer, Tisha. 1 second. Tisha, do you agree with my answer? Or would you
Yes,
like to add something?
I totally
Yeah.
agree with your answer.
And at any point, if you have something counteractive, please feel free to present that and we can discuss that. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. Who was there next?
Upasna, sir.
Yes, Upasna.
So, I had few points when Tisha was sharing her answer. She said that
Okay.
in future when we decide to do when we decide to choose a particular field in design, we need to
Mhm.
stick to it, and then we need to be confident about it. And then she said that she wants to learn further about the design field. But sir, I feel that it is a
Mhm.
bit contradictory over here, because if you
No,
are
so Mhm. Mhm. No,
uh,
please continue. Please
if
continue.
you are rigid to a particular field, that if you have to do it, then how are you learning?
Hmm.
Because you're
No,
not
so that is
trying hundreds
exactly
of
why.
things.
So let me clarify, Upasana, if I may, and I take the liberty to answer on behalf of Tisha, because I think that it is not the answer that she has given, it is the implication of the answer that she has given. She did not mean to say that she is going to be rigid about studying one field and not experiment. What she meant was that currently she doesn't have knowledge enough to understand or make choice of what her journey after 5 years would be. So she wants to let these 5 years give her that enough knowledge to let her hone her skills so that she becomes an expert in the passion she chooses for future. So that is the answer she wanted to give from what I can understand as an interviewer. But the language that was used is something which was slightly misleading because it came as a casual conversation between two friends. Can both of you can oppose me, Upasana and Tisha? Like, that's my understanding.
No, so I got it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Tisha,
sir.
am I right? Or maybe I'm assuming, Tisha, like I
No, no,
might
no,
have
you're
not
right.
understood you.
You are
So
right.
even if Okay, thank you, Tisha, and thank you, Upasana. Upasana, also, I understand your concern. That is exactly why I asked her to rephrase her answer. See, that is the best way, and I'm happy that we're having these conversations, people, because this is how you prepare for your exam. We can solve 100 question papers, but these live conversations are the ones that give us confidence. So I'm happy that we took this decision of being here this evening. And I know it's late for all of you, but good to practice this because these beautiful chanced conversations are the ones which will solve a lot of parallel thoughts for all of you. Yeah. So good, like how Upasana had a cross question, I urge all of you to also go forward and ask cross questions because that will clarify doubts within you all. Okay. Now, Rehan or Raihan, sorry, my apologies. I do not know how to pronounce your name.
That's fine.
Ryan, yes, please tell me what your answer would be, Ryan.
So in next 5 years, I see myself as a fashion stylist, working for like some major brands and exploring more opportunities as it's like a huge base, like it has a very huge curriculum as we see like fashion style working for different brands and like studying and exploring more fashion cultures as I have a lot of interest in traveling as well to different countries, so it would be very how can I phrase like it would be very interesting for me and for like my passion as a fashion stylist, as it's a different country and it's going to be a lot of different culture as compared to one I have lived and studied in. So it would be like total different experience.
So Ryan, I have a lot of red flags for you because your answer to me sounds very luxurious and very entitled. So I'm not trying to be mean here, but right from what we have presented as an answer, it is something which I will, as an interviewer, assume that you are very privileged. You come from a very entitled background and you do not need my education. Whereas that is not the answer you wanted to give. Okay. So let me rephrase it for you so that you understand where my problem in this answer is from. First of all, why do you assume that fashion styling is very sort of luxurious or it is something which is an out of the world profession? Where does that misinformation come from? All that glamour that you see being a fashion stylist, it is only 1/100th of what you see on screen. Let me be very honest.
So I don't like see as fashion stylist as luxurious or out of the world. It's just like I have like a different like I feel connected to it when I like sit with my mom. She's a fashion designer, and when I see her and when she works with different designers and when she is working on her own stuff, I just feel so much encouraged by her, and it's like I want to go into this field, and my sisters are also into similar fields. So it's like I want to become something like that, and styling is something I feel connected to, just like that. And exploring is one of the
So,
passions.
so Ryan, for me, it will be important to know as a interviewer, as an interviewer, what is the connection you're talking about? So please mention that I come from a family where design is given a lot of importance. My mother is a designer herself, and the way she talks to her clients, the way she talks about her designs to the people who come to her, inspire me to be connected. It is the way she coordinates various garments and styles them that really makes me feel how different material and colors can come together. And that gives me a hope to be a great stylist. And that is my start point. And tomorrow, I feel that my dream to be a stylist can take me to newer places, newer travel opportunities, because I am a traveler at heart. And that is where I see myself 5 years from now. So do you see how your answer has changed, Ryan? I know your intention, but Bache, like I'm not denying what you're saying. But the moment we say that, oh, this profession is so profound and it is so fancy and it makes me travel the world, that is only 1/3 the reality, beta. So we have to become relatable to interviewers as well. And sometimes if I give them a slice of my dream, that is what works. If I show them that I know that this will happen to me, one is confidence and one is entitlement. And I know that it is your amazing belief in yourself and your mother that you are giving this answer. And I can connect with that. But you have to say it in different manner so that it comes across as the way you want it to. Yeah. But very good thought. So keep your pure thoughts intact. Okay. Do not let your thoughts move away. Please understand, people, that it takes courage to have these amazing thoughts that Ryan has mentioned. But please do not change the way you speak to impress somebody. It is very important. It is not that Ryan has done it. I'm giving an example. So many times it happens that if I'm asking a question to somebody, you will put on a different accent. You will put on a pretense as if you are somebody else. And that does not work, people. Please be too true to what you say. If you are uncomfortable in talking in English, nobody says that you need to give your answers only in English. Please tell your interviewer that I am comfortable speaking in a different language and I will say slowly. I can still answer in English, but I need to talk slowly because I am not comfortable. And that shows your courage, also shows your respect to self. So please maintain that. Yeah. And every interview will give you space and time to interact with. Okay. Dia, do you have a question for us?
Yes, so firstly, I like to apologize. My camera is not working at the moment. Can I still continue?
No problem.
Uh,
Please, dear, please do.
for my answer, where I see myself in 5 years, to put it out rather bluntly, I see myself appreciating my culture, the Indian culture, because I feel that many Gen Zs agree with me that there was a time in our lives, maybe the early teens or tween years, where we felt very disconnected with our Indian heritage. Everyone thought it was cool to adapt the Western styles and the Western fashion, you can say. But for me to reconnect with that beautiful culture was because of the Sanjay Leela Bhansali films. Uh, that was something that helped me reconnect with my culture and the beauty that Indian heritage has. So in 5 years, I see myself doing whatever that I'm doing. I see myself appreciating that culture and staying connected, not wandering off. So that's it.
Very beautiful answer, dear. And I don't think I would like to connect anything in that answer. I'm not favoring you because I don't know of you and I don't know you, but thank you because that answer was exactly what I would have loved to hear as an interviewer who has never met you or heard you before. One thing which I also would like to appreciate is, yeah, I understand that there can be glitches in technology, people. Okay. Today, my technology can also crash right now and I cannot do anything about it. But it is good to acknowledge that. Sometimes we can use it as an excuse that my camera is not working and this is not happening and that is not happening. It is very important that we acknowledge that my apologies, XYZ person. I'm unable to turn on the camera. Am I still permitted to continue with the interview? Now, some interviewer might say that when can your camera work? So it depends on them also as to how they will answer, but at least they will acknowledge the fact that you are saying that your camera is genuinely not working. But trust me, if your camera is working and you still are giving it as an excuse, that is unfair to the interviewer. So please try not to do it. I, as an interviewer, might never get to know that your camera is not working, but I would love to believe you because we people like to believe each other, right? That is the way the life works. So
Yes,
let's be true to what we are, and thank you for acknowledging the fact that my connection is limited and my camera doesn't work. And then you can even suggest that, sir or ma'am or Vatsal, you could also take the opportunity to not use your camera if you think that is something which you would like to accept in privacy. So if one says that, it is also acknowledging the fact that I do not have the obligation of turning on my camera because you don't have the courtesy or the possibility of turning on the camera, you know? So
okay.
that is how the real communications happen. Another thing, people, sometimes I might be using a Meet link or a Zoom link of my friend, my sister, my father. I should mention, because sometimes it has happened that I have come to take, say, Ryan's interview, but I end up meeting Mandakini, for example. Okay. Now I wonder who Mandakini is. I'm not ready to interview Mandakini. And on the screen, it says Mandakini, and I'm supposed to meet somebody called Ryan. So then the first answer should be, you might have seen the misspelt names or the misalignment of names here. This is my friend's laptop or this is my mother's laptop. And I thank them for the courtesy of letting me be interviewed from this. So you're acknowledging then that this IT is not yours. And it is important for the interviewer to know that this IT is borrowed for the interview's sake. Okay, these are ways to talk about your legitimacy and exactness of the position. Yeah. Another very important thing, I have seen that a lot of students, when they're giving interviews, they might be going for, say, a family function. They are in the car. They might be in a train because there's a family emergency. They're traveling from point A to point B. They might be going for a party and they've put me on mute and I can hear the honks of the car. Please understand that you have to specify this at the start of the interview. If there is an emergency at home, it is understandable. If you're going for anything leisurely, it is not acceptable. Please treat the interview with most diligence. If you're not interested in applying to a design school, don't apply. don't waste the interviewer's time. And let me tell you this, okay? Sometimes interviewers of the school that you've applied for just for the fluke of things, and the interviewer who you've applied of a reputed school because you want to be there, can be friends too. And there can be a cross-checking of a student or a candidate. I can go out, say, for a coffee with a friend. I can give an example of, say, hey, I met somebody like Priyanka and she did this to me. She was too haughty. And the other person might just come and say, are you talking about this Priyanka? Oh, yes, I interviewed her too. I am giving a very hypothetical situation. And Priyanka, I'm just using you because you're my colleague and you will not feel bad about it.
No
But
worries, sir. No
it is
worries.
also, it is a possibility that somebody might cross-check your reference and it might be like, oh, that means this student was not serious about coming to my school. And that can really happen. You never know. The communication these days is not in any of our control. And that basic respect, etiquette is what is respected of each one of you. Let's extremely be mindful of the time that you're giving to the interviewer. Otherwise, opt out of an examination, sir. Yeah. I can quickly take one last question and then we can quickly show you some ideas about how an interesting question paper is so that you all know how to be prepared for an interview. Yeah. Dia, yes, tell me.
Sir, I did mine.
Sorry, okay. Vaishnavi.
Good evening, sir. Actually, I
Yes.
didn't want to answer that question, that 5-year question. I had another question, a query, basically. So when we were talking about the
Okay.
inspiration that we have about, so basically, I'm interested in interior design, right? So when the
Okay.
interviewer asks me about my inspiration, so I personally do not have any interior designer or any designer we know as my inspiration currently. Um, because being very honest, I haven't researched about that much. But what, like, the point where I got really inspired to be an interior designer was the point where actually last year we were having construction at our home where our kitchen was redesigned from scratch. Like, we were choosing the tiles, the color of the wall, the laminates, etc. So the whole process that fascinated me a lot. So through the whole process, we went to different shops, we went to different stores, interior designers, where we got to interact with many of them. Through that whole process, I was really intrigued about this field. I was interested earlier as well, but that point was the point where I got interested a lot. So if I answer with this question, when the interviewer asks me about my inspiration, will that be considered fine?
So I will tell you how to answer that question. Instead of saying that, mention that, dear, hello, thank you for that question. Uh, due to my limited experience or exposure in the field of design, I might not have a designer whose work I look up to or who is somebody who inspires me. But I would like to share with you an incident that happened that brought me closer to my dream of being an interior designer, and then give them an example of the day that went by today. So that will connect the story in the right manner and give you a proper platform to answer what you want to answer.
Okay, right.
Yeah, does that help?
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Does anybody have any questions, or I can quickly show some slides to you all? Yes, Isabel. Priyanka, do we have 5-10 minutes to quickly show the
Yes, sir. We can.
slides?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be quick so that we can discuss other things than people. I will just take you through an example of the examination that we are doing at the Design Village this year, so that you understand how it is important for us also to reinvent as a design school a method that we would like to do. Yeah. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, just let me start the screen share. Apologies, I just have to change the settings. Can you all see the screen now?
No, sir.
Okay, just one moment, please. Allow me one. Is it visible now, people?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So I will just take you through quick sections of what we're trying to do this year. We will always give you all a theme word to start with. An example could be future of design or impact through design, life through design. And all my questions in the future of the paper would be based on this particular keyword. So when you come for the interview, remember this keyword because my first question to you will be revolving around this keyword. For example, your paper says play through design, and the opening statement of your question paper talks about what is play through design. Understand that, and that is a time that you will be used to answer the rest of the 4 questions that you will have in your exam paper. And this will also help you prepare for the interview because I will definitely go back to the experience of how did you give your exam paper. Yeah. And the key word here is very important for you to know as to the start point of connecting that relation with the interviewer here. Yeah. So something which you should always remember for the interview and your exam paper is please try to have a good internet. Buy an internet package if you have to for that exam cycle of yours so that your internet tech is not compromised on the day of exam. One day before, try playing a lot of your YouTube videos, try watching Netflix so to ensure that your connection is not in a glitch. Okay. And 2 hours or hour before the exam starts, just check the speed of your internet so that if you have to troubleshoot, you can. Secondly, try to always have 2 devices, say a laptop or a touchscreen cell phone or a tablet, so that if one thing doesn't work, you have a backup, but it is something which we can work towards. Try to be very positive about the way you want to give your exam. Don't get carried away by the burden of the day. Be happy, be positive. Just believe in the fact that you want to be designers of tomorrow, and that is what matters. Nothing else matters. Now, in different exam papers, you will have different requirements of stationery, but keep your basic stationery. Now, I know that you all are preparing for design exams, right? So it is silly of me to not expect you to have A3 sheets and A4 sheets. You should have all the different pencils, like a 2B, a 3B, 4B, an HB, or a 2H. It is important to be serious about what profession you want to be. Have different sort of ink pens, your microns, your sketch pens, your sellotape, scissors, stencil cutter, a ruler, eraser. These are basic requirements to give any entrance exam, right? Unless specified otherwise. So when I say basic stationery, keep these things in mind, yeah? Then of course, your set of A3 sheets and A4 sheets. My first question this time, which I'm giving you all, is visualizing in space. Now, what I've done, what we have done very funnily is I'm making you animate something on a 2D surface. For example, I've given you a prompt of an animation, a safety pin thrown into a space, and I've only given you 5 frames to draw the motion of these safety pins in the 5 frames. But I only wanted to express the safety pin and nothing else. Now you can see the safety pin from top, you can see it in space, you can see it anywhere. So here I will judge you about the aspect of knowing your basic objects of every day and how you see them translating when they are in different positions in a 3-dimensional way. So here I will test your ability to think in a 3-dimensional space. When I'm talking space, I'm not talking about the outer space. I'm talking about the space around us. Yeah. So that's the first question. Now, I am not going to give you a situation test in this case because I'm giving you a situation in a 2-dimensional way to think about your 2D in a 3D form. And that is the challenging way. How you eliminate the situation and make it into a more two-dimensional sort of perspective. That is going to be extremely challenging. So I'm giving you some stop motion sort of videos to show what are the frames that you can have, right? It's very, very important. Now, communicating through visuals, it's something which I feel that you can all have a lot of fun about. Idea of making scrapbooks, making collages, use old magazines, use posters, CD covers, cassette covers, old newspaper cuttings, paper bags, can be anything. So if I'm giving you, say, a theme such as your childhood home or your childhood neighborhood, what will you create as an artwork for me? And that allows me to see, and you will not go out of your home. Whatever is available around in your surrounding, you pick that up and you create an abstract for me. And you click that and you upload it on my Google form. And that is where I test your materiality, your attention to detailing, and the ability of you ready to dream big, to be a designer. And that is the example of what I can do with it. There's so many things that you can do. Now, the third part is something which is very interesting. I am going and taking forward the understanding that we all use technology. We are all using AI tools. We are all using ChatGPT to type our answers. Now, I want you to record an answer. Use maybe a WhatsApp voice recorder and send a voice note to somebody and then save it and upload it, or record a basic recorder on your phone, a message. So I'm going to give you a question, which will be something as basic as what is your opinion about something? And you have to answer that for 2 minutes. So it is in your own voice. It doesn't have to be in English. It can be in Hindi. It can be in any other language. And I have the tools to convert your language here. But it is a voice note. I want to hear your voice. Like how in your schools, you have elocutions, debates, extempores. I want to see you fight and defend what you feel. And that is the way I will gauge your answer. That is why in this question, I don't want you to answer in English. I don't want you to answer in Hindi. It can be any language. And that is where I will get to know your creativity. Last question is about how do you know the world? In this, you have to make a video. You can use Instagram reels, you can use Snapchat videos, you can use multiple ways to make a small video of 2 minutes. My theme here is a mama polar bear in the Arctic, and my exaggerated imagery looks like a small polar bear on the iceberg, and that is the end of the world, a catharsis. So how do you make a video? By sourcing things from the internet. Like I'm giving you complete freedom here to choose things from the internet and make a video of 2 minutes. And that is where I will see your ability to mix media, to create different music, to create photo montages, and present me with a video using your AI tools of today. So I am trying to give you a prompt and you come back to me. You use Midjourney, you use ChatGPT, you use Photoshop Beta, you make anything surreal and bring me back my prompt. And I want to see how good you were with the AI. How good were you with your own self, pushing the software that you have around, pushing the social channels that you're immersed in, and answer that question to me. So these are the 4 questions which I'm going to sort of leave you with. And that is something which I also want you all to think about the interview when you come to me, because these interviews are packed with your experiences of how the world around you is changing, how you're responding to the world. I want to hear a voice which is different. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to know whether you're taking stand in the world around, like what is happening in Palestine, what is happening in India at the moment, what is happening with the new policies that the geopolitics is bringing to. Be aware of what is happening in the world, because as designers, we are striving to make a better world. And this is just a start. An exam paper is just a start to welcome you to the world of great opportunities. So that is what I wanted to leave you all with. I'm happy to have any questions. Otherwise, I can hand over to Priyanka, who could take over from me and complete the session for today. So thank you, people, but open to questions now.
Thank you so much, sir, for your so much beautiful guidance. And of course, I love the conversation entirely. And everyone, thank you so much
Thanks,
for,
Priyanka.
coming out and speaking and, allowing us to address all your issues. So now, because we are also, talking about design competitions, design entrance exams, so surely there are going to be limited seats when you talk about the government exams. So this is how we, as an private design college come in the loop. We are just, trying to help you out to, have a better career in your design journey and design career. Now, I just gave, go through a small presentation of mine, not taking much of your time, and make you understand how we are working, the pedagogy and the offerings we have got for you as a design college. So I'll just quickly share my screen with you, and every slide is going to have, an information for you, and you can always come back to me with any kind of query or anything you want to understand from my end. Few minutes more, uske baad aap sab free ho jayenge, and then you can always, go and take some rest, right? So I'll just quickly share my screen in a few seconds. So is like my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We are a design college based out in Noida, Delhi NCR, Sector 8. This is an industrial area, and it's been about 10 years since we have been taking design pedagogy ahead on a global platform. So we generally say that we take life through design. Why everything is all about design? So this is how the campus looks from the outer side. And then उसके बाद अगर हम अपना आगे जब भी बढ़ते हैं धीरे धीरे, so we will talk about different things where you can always simply just ask more information for more things. You can always come back to us. And I think आप लोगों की campus visit अभी हो चुकी है या होने वाली है? I really am not sure about this. ठीक है? This is how you're going to study. These are the people under whom you're going to have your design journey. That's our founder, that's our co-founder. These are our international faculties, including Vatsal sir, and we have our, people coming from the design background itself. They are your facilitators, and not only just they are going to be your second family once, whenever you plan to, come down to TDV. And we definitely say that you please choose and learn from the alumni of the world-renowned colleges. These are the people, very same people who are coming from their higher education done from Domus Academy, Rhode Island School of Design, National Institute of Design, NIFT, CEPT, Ahmedabad, and other places. So everything you are going to have is not just their experience of their higher education, but their industry-centric programs. So these are the very people who are currently also working in the design industry as holding as an individual identity. So they give you the exposure of industry accordingly, and they will give you the demands, and they will prepare you accordingly. These are our university partners for your international and national degree thing. This is Technical University of Delft. So this is amongst the world top premium design colleges, and they are our official partner for our curriculum design. This is our almost second official campus, Des Moines de Bois-Boucher, which is located in Netherlands. And our students every year go and present their ideas, and they have also created Indian Pavilion for this particular university, a very beautiful university place. So hoping जो भी कोई आप यहाँ पे join करेंगे, you are going to be a part of this university as well. So quickly, हमारे 3 verticals हैं education में, जो जिस तरह से हम आपको train करते हैं. This is baskets. Baskets में you are going to have a thematic feel that a course आपका जो भी base होगा उसके according आपको professional development मिलती है. Task box is going to be a design project basically, which is going to have a mixture of all these silos, and you're going to study different brands. You're going to present your thesis, your projections, and everything. Third is going to be villaging. This is one of the interesting part, my personal favorite thing. Every year, for about 10 days, we share, this particular platform with all our students, जहाँ पे आप एक छोटे से गांव में, किसी भी जगह के इंडिया के अंदर एक छोटे से गांव में जाते हो, you live with the very people of those, village. work with them and then you understand कैसे वो लोग अपनी life वहां पे बिता रहे हैं, and while you also learn this thing कि वो किस तरह से एक बेहतर life जीने के लिए किस तरह से struggle करे. So as a design student you can always build your personal community and help them to have a better life in future. These are the recognitions we have had so far. We have also been, given the best design campus by Forbes India. क्योंकि हमारा जो design campus है, it is built under an old katha factory. Katha सबको मालूम है? Does anyone relate katha? At least answer तो दे दो guys. So katha मैं बता देती हूँ. Katha is one रेड कलर सॉलिड सब्सटेंस जो कि पान पे लगाया जाता है जब भी हम जाते हैं ना, या हमारे बड़े लोग पहले जाते थे कि भाई कत्थे वाला पान दे दीजिए. दैट वाज सपोज्ड टू प्रोड्यूस ओवर हियर इन दिस फैक्ट्री. पोल्यूशन एक्ट के दौरान ये बंद हुई एंड वी एक्चुअली क्रिएटेड वी एंटायर कैंपस विद इन दिस फैक्ट्री. जब भी आप हमारे यहाँ पे आएंगे यू विल बी एबल टू विटनेस रियल मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ दिस फैक्ट्री, जहाँ पे हमने इनकी ओल्ड मशीनरीज को आज तक प्रिजर्व करके रखा हुआ है. These are few competitions जहाँ पे हम regularly participate करते हैं और इंडिया को from last consecutive 3 years से present करते आ रहे हैं और जीतते आ रहे हैं. These are again few of our achievements and recognitions. So I'm just keeping it very short and crisp. This is very important thing that why I really want you to understand that why in case पहले although we really want कि आप NID NIFT crack कीजिए, if not then why you should choose TDV. So we are giving you UGC approved design degree programs. We, as I mentioned earlier, we are an award winning design campus. Then हम लोग के international exchange programs और semesters होते हैं. From last year we have also added international internships. So this is one platform जहाँ पे आपको पेड और नॉन पेड इंटर्नशिप्स मिलती हैं इंटरनेशनल ब्रांड्स के साथ डिपेंडिंग ऑन द कोर्स यू हैव चोजन. These are our few internship and project brands. So about more than 50 plus brand हमारे in-house brands हैं जहाँ पे you get the placement and internship so that you can also get your hands-on training in terms of design. Up to 100% scholarship हम हर साल ऑफर करते हैं जो आपकी एंट्रेंस एग्जाम से शुरू हो जाती है. And this particular scholarship is applicable on our tuition fee. Then हमारी सबसे बड़ी USP है कि हमारा जो स्टूडेंट टीचर रेशियो है that is about 1:15 student. Second year में आप लोग जब अपनी स्पेशलाइजेशन चूज कर लेते हैं तो the batch size becomes very limited. Why? Because we are the only college who take about 150 to 175 students every year, not more than that. Short placements होती हैं and PG स्टूडेंट्स के लिए हम लोग प्री प्लेसमेंट ऑफर लेटर्स हम हर साल ऑफर करते हैं. Why? Because PG स्टूडेंट्स के पास जो उनका प्लेटफॉर्म होता है मे बी दैट इज देयर लास्ट चांस टू अपडेट देयर स्किल्स एंड देन बी अ पार्ट ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री. दिस इज वाई प्री प्लेसमेंट लेटर उनको दिया जाता है. बट of course terms and condition आते हैं that the merit has to be accordingly so that they can claim their pre-placements from us. Delhi NCR based campus hai, and because we are in Noida had always been known as the apparel capital of India. So you get all the industries just in about 10 kilometers of TDV campus. आप बाहर निकलते हो, you have fashion houses, you have got production houses, you have got footwear brands, you have got furniture market, product workshops are here. So आप किसी भी segment को लेके जब भी आप पढ़ेंगे और industry exposure चाहेंगे, you will have right within 10 kilometers of the entire industrial area. So international exposure जो हमने आपको mention करा, ये उसका एक छोटा सा glimpse है. How students stay there and how they work there and they literally enjoy. So this was the time जब De Monde Boy Bush University में हम India Pavilion बना रहे थे. So entrance exam का pattern I think sir ने already आपको बता ही दिया है. So this is something that we are offering you guys. Scholarships हमेशा हमारे पास हैं. Eligibility criteria for all the UG student is minimum 50% score, and for PG student is that minimum a graduation has to be here. ये हमारे कुछ करे हुए projects हैं. Last year the student actually did this project for a community called Rohingyas, जहाँ पे उन्होंने उनकी staple food fish farming का एक concept उनको दिया था, and this was one project which was given the first prize from Cumulus Green, and our student got the prize of about 10,000 euros in cash. This is fashion textile project जहाँ पे सलोन de मोबिल यूनिवर्सिटी है, म्यूजियम है सॉरी, और जहाँ पे हमारे स्टूडेंट ने वेस्ट जो सैल्वेजेस होती हैं उनको इन्फ्यूज करके वीव करके लाइफस्टाइल प्रोडक्ट्स बनाए, जैसे रग्स, कारपेट्स, एंड नाउ अभी वो मोर देन 100 वुमेन को ऑलरेडी अपने अंडर, विलेज वुमेन को जॉब दे चुका है. The technique had been patented on his name. The collection was called FAG, and this is something that we are very proud of. Another bio design challenge, प्रोजेक्ट्स जहाँ पे वी आर टेकिंग केयर ऑफ कि हाउ हम कैसे अपनी प्लैनेट को बहुत डिफरेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स के थ्रू कम डैमेज कर सकते हैं, हाउ वी कैन एक्चुअली फिक्स इट. ये एक टैबू टॉपिक था जो हमारे फैशन टेक्सटाइल स्टूडेंट ने करा था. सो दिस इज an underpant designed by the student of our fashion textile student, catering one of the important segments. So women generally go through these menstruation cycles every month, but what we don't realize is that this is a mere pure blood which we are releasing every month from our body. So इसमें जो stem cells होते हैं, they have the power to cure diseases like cancer. अंडरपैंट्स इस तरह से डिजाइन करी गई हैं कि ये आपके स्टेम सेल्स को बाय डिफॉल्ट प्रिजर्व करेंगे, एंड वी कैन हेल्प आवर कम्युनिटी एंड कंट्री टू क्योर diseases like cancer. Another project which was again in the collaboration with मेनका गांधी मैम, जहाँ पे हमारे बच्चों ने ये एक प्रोजेक्ट करा था कैटरी के नाम से फॉर एनिमल. सो एनिमल अवेयरनेस भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, एंड वी डिजाइन दिस प्रोजेक्ट. इसमें क्या था कि इसमें जितने भी स्ट्रीट डॉग्स या कैट्स हैं, दे हैव दिस ongoing इन्फेक्शंस, क्योंकि वो लोग बाहर रहते हैं और हम भी सेम ही स्ट्रीट्स पे चलते हैं, यूज करते हैं उन्हीं सेम एरियाज को. सो ये कैटरी पॉइंट्स उनके लिए बनाए गए थे, जिसमें वो जब अंदर जाएंगे तो बाय डिफॉल्ट सैनिटाइज होके बाहर निकलेंगे एवरीडे, सो दैट दे कैन ऑल्सो स्टे इन्फेक्शन फ्री एंड हम लोगों को भी कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो. Another project we did for Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. This is something again one of my favorite. The project is called sand to dust. तो literally students ने sand को लेकर इसको गोल्ड के साथ इन्फ्यूज कर रहा था, फॉर्मिंग इट टू अ नेचुरल हैंडमेड शीट फॉर मिस्टर अमिताभ बच्चन. और मिस्टर बच्चन इसको अभी तक करंटली यूज करते हैं. जितने भी लेटर हेड्स या वो जो नोट्स अपने देते हैं सारे सेलिब्रिटीज को ऑल द बेस्ट बोलने के लिए या अपनी गुड विशेस देने के लिए, ये उनके स्टेशनरी का हिस्सा है आज भी. सो यू कैन ऑलवेज स्टडी अबाउट दिस. मिस्टर बच्चन ने जब हमने ये प्रोजेक्ट करा था, ही ऑल्सो रीट्वीटेड अबाउट दिस. This is how the entire journey was, and we just got a brief in one line कि ये जो stationery है उनकी जड़ों से जुड़ी होनी चाहिए. That is why the student went to Allahabad and did entire research, and then they decided to have the sand from संगम नदी, and then they bought it, and उसके बाद इसको पेपर के साथ इतना फाइन करा गया so that it became a handmade sheet, or now currently it is one of the premium stationeries designed for Mr. Bachchan. This is our another project जहाँ पे हम tourism enhancement की बात कर रहे हैं, currently in collaboration with मेघालयन गवर्नमेंट, जहाँ पे हमारे बच्चों ने उनकी टूरिज्म सर्विसेज बढ़ाने के लिए मेघालयन कन्वेंशन हॉल पे काम करा है. This was when Mr. The Chief Minister of Meghalaya visited TDV to understand how we are going to help them out. Our featured magazines, internship and placements thing for every silo जो भी है, this is how the campus looks inside. So we say claim your future with us, and this is it. किसी को कोई भी क्वेश्चन अभी भी पूछने हैं, so you can always ask me. If not, then just let us know how we can just help you more in cracking your entrance exams and allow you to have a better platform apart from everything. कुछ किसी को अभी तक कुछ समझ में आया है या फिर कुछ जानना है, anything guys? I know it's quite late, so I'll just wrap it up quickly. Anyone? Feel free to ask the question, not about TDV, but in terms of design as well, in case you have got it.
Excuse you, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, Ananya.
Ma'am, what is the general fee structure of your college?
So, okay, my fee structure for every year is 6 lakhs. And because हम लोग scholarship offer करते हैं, और ये scholarship खाली entrance exam basis पे नहीं होती है, we have a platform जहाँ पे आप every year on the basis of your merit, एज इन योर क्लास परफॉर्मेंस आप हमसे स्कॉलरशिप्स ले सकते हैं अप टू 100% तक. नाउ हाउ आई से कि आप मेरिट कैसे गेन करते हैं. देयर आर ओनली 2 थिंग्स दैट यू नीड टू कंसिडर. दैट इज 85% ऑफ योर अटेंडेंस. अ मिनिमम 85% आपका अटेंडेंस होना चाहिए every year, and a CGPA score of about 7 has to be there. इसमें आपके जो भी प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, आपके अटेंडेंस, हाउ यू बिहेव इन द क्लास, एवरीथिंग इज कंसिडर्ड, एंड हाउ this is how you can claim your scholarship with us. If not, then we have another platform where we offer need-based scholarship, but this is for very few students who genuinely want to study design but financially शायद वो अपने आप को help नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. तो on that ways we offer them this another platform need-based, but the priority is that we really want you to study as hard as you can, क्योंकि डिजाइन एक प्रैक्टिकल सब्जेक्ट है. तो जितना ज्यादा आप इसमें अपने आप को इंडल्ज करके रखेंगे, द बिगर द प्लेटफॉर्म इज गोइंग टू बी फॉर यू. स्कॉलरशिप्स हर साल मिलती हैं, सो यू कैन ऑलवेज क्लेम योर स्कॉलरशिप्स, राइट? एनीथिंग एल्स? एनीवन बिफोर आई रैप अप?
Ma'am,
Yes,
can I
Ananya.
ask about your placement package, like the
Alright.
salary
तो
package?
देखो, डिजाइन इंडस्ट्री में जनरली एवरेज पैकेजेस पहले काफी कम हुआ करते थे. अब जो एवरेज पैकेज है आपका मिनिमम 8 to 10 lakhs आपका होता ही है, राइट? उसके बाद डिपेंड करता है कि आप साइलो स्पेसिफिक कैसे हैं. जैसे सपोजिटली व्हेन कोविड हैपेंड, फैशन टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री वाज वन इंडस्ट्री व्हिच वेंट ऑल डाउन. तो उस इंडस्ट्री को उठने में वापस बाहर बहुत टाइम लगा, which now is coming to normal pace and back in thing. बट उस टाइम पे एक इंडस्ट्री थी जो बहुत ज्यादा ऊपर उठ के आई थी, दैट वाज ग्राफिक एंड कम्युनिकेशन. सो उस कोरोना एरा के बाद हमारा जो हाईएस्ट पैकेज गया था was 15.5. So that depends. The average has to be this, but rest it is actually going to be the way you are going to present your portfolio. Because हम industry centric design आपको सिखाते हैं, you will be given hands-on training from your first year. डिजाइन में हम सारी प्रैक्टिकल एक्टिविटीज आपकी फर्स्ट ईयर से करवाना शुरू कर देते हैं, एंड फ्रॉम सेकेंड ईयर ऑफिशियली you will have your industry के projects where you're going to work on them, and then you will start building your more network also, और अपना प्लेटफॉर्म अच्छे से क्रिएट करोगे. सो बाय द टाइम आपका ग्रेजुएशन खत्म होगा, you are going to be all prepared to present yourself in the industry already. और हो सकता है कि उससे पहले इंडस्ट्री में आपका इंटर्नशिप्स के थ्रू आप अपने आप को इतने अच्छे से प्रमोट कर लें कि शायद उसी टाइम पे आपको प्लेसमेंट्स ऑफर मिल जाएं, राइट? बिकॉज इंडस्ट्री सेंट्रिक है, दिस इज व्हाट वी फोकस ऑन. जैसे जैसे हम आपको टॉपिक्स पढ़ाते हैं, वैसे वैसे हम आपका रिलेशन इंडस्ट्री के प्रोजेक्ट से बिल्ड करते चले जाते हैं, राइट? लास्ट 2 minutes, एनीवन एल्स? ऑल राइट, आई थिंक सभी के क्वेरीज और सब कुछ ऑलमोस्ट सॉर्ट हो चुके हैं. सो आई थैंक यू वेरी मच. लाइक प्लीज आगे चल के कभी भी कुछ भी है, मैम इज हियर AFA से, मैम से आप कुछ भी क्वेरीज कर सकते हैं. इन केस यू आर प्लानिंग टू विजिट TDV randomly, you can do that. We are just a call away. You can visit anywhere between 10:30 until 5:30 in the campus in Noida. It is sector 8 NCR. And हमारे students, faculties, किसी से भी आप बहुत freely आके बात कर सकते हैं. You can clear your doubts. You can see what kind of projects and what kind of studies our students are actually doing. So one question has been popped up: how many members participate in entrance exam and how many members are admitted to college? All right, क्यों? ये थोड़ा सा एक critical चीज है. We only take about 150 to 170 seats every year. तो हमारी exam cycles भी बहुत limited होती हैं. So for this year, we are only having 4 entrance exam cycle. One isn't going to happen, of course, in this month, 26th of November. Another is going to happen in January, then February and March. इन साइकिल्स में जितने भी बच्चे बैठते हैं, दे हैव टू गेट एक्सेप्टेड बाय अस. तो ये जो एक क्राइटेरिया है वो थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है. हमारे एंट्रेंस एग्जाम्स में, जैसे सर ने आपको ब्रीफ ऑलरेडी दे दिया, यू वुड हैव अंडरस्टैंड अब तक कि हमारा एंट्रेंस एग्जाम प्लेटफॉर्म बहुत डिफरेंट है, right? We are not giving you any kind of aptitude or a optional thing. That is a situation based design entrance exam. So जितना बेहतर आप परफॉर्म करोगे, उतने ज्यादा आपके चांसेस होंगे एंट्रेंस एग्जाम में एक्सेप्ट होने के, right? Anyone else? Any questions so far? No. Chalo. I thank you all once again. Hope आपके सारे doubts clear हुए होंगे, and we are looking forward to have you someday in our campus soon. And let's have a fun day someday whenever you're visiting here. We will make you have a hands-on workshop. We will have lots of fun. Besides that, you will also learn a lot of things about design in real time, right? So thank you so much. Have a nice evening, and all the best to all the students for your NID and IFT examinations. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Take care, guys. Take care. Bye.